consciousness is the primary source, and then like every other thing, including no matter how physical it may feel to you, it is just like some sort of simulation or projection of the consciousness, a playground for us to play in. Okay, so that is what you mean with fractal.
Yeah.
All right.
That it's any conscious idea can expand into another, and so it starts as one player that can expand into many other players, and it just becomes this ever expanding fractal pattern.
Yeah. So what kind of connection do you have with your higher self on the planes? Or how do you feel about this whole thing? Are you communicating with angels and spirits, or do you recognize that they are you, just, you know?
I believe that over the course of my life, I've been through many different schools of thought. All have taught me more about myself. And through that, my higher self gained a greater voice. In the beginning, we don't know very much, but over time, we learn our own truth, and we have our higher selves that reflects our truth back at us. So I feel that my experience over this lifetime has allowed my higher self to lead me to where I am now. And that has been conscious.
Yes. So, like I kind of define the terminology such that the process of planetary awakening means that we recognize mostly two things. And one of them is that the planetary consciousness field is one. And it doesn't only include the so-called people, but it includes everything. For instance, in the movie Pocahontas, there is this Colors of the Wind. I like the song.
Think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew, you never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or asked the grinning bobcat why he grinned?
Because that is like neatly putting this idea together that everything is one. But at the same time, the other aspect of the awakening is kind of gaining and reinforcing the connection to your dissociated higher self. So that not only you are you, also your higher self is you. You are one with me. Your higher self is one with my higher self, actually, because the consciousness is one. And this whole simulation that we are living here, and for instance, kingly equally, because that is also built on the principle that you cannot be separated, you have to have a parent. You can't trace yourself back to the source. Only the dragon may access the source, so everybody else is my children in this world. But the reason why I chose this principle is that this is the principle how the Earth experience is constructed. So what I'm doing with Kingly Platform is that I'm just copying the Earth experience. I'm making Kingly Platform to be the a wireframe to show people how this simulation is constructed, so that we can move on to do other things, including longevity, eternal life. When we, the end game is, like after the cabal is dethroned, when we create the new world, when we liberate all the technologies, when everybody takes acid and other things that make them gain access to new things. What will happen in the so-called end is that is it called curtain, that will rise, and then all the angels and all the spirits and all the aliens and everybody, they are there, and then they will tell us, well done guys, this was a nice play. And then we will have a time of partying, and then we will create new simulations where the memory again is erased. Because like the theme, or one of them, every movie is true. And everything in the television is a lie, in case you didn't know. But every movie is true, meaning that this movie that we are playing here, or these movies, like the Truman Show is true, The Matrix is true, The Hunger Games is also true. They are all true, and the global or planetary realization that it was all a game, it was all a play, it was a movie, in my feeling, take it from me, I have a connection to my higher self, who is the voice, and I know the game master as well. It's happening.
And because the Kingly platform has an outline of how long it will take before everybody can join the platform, are you predicting that the current governments and paradigm will change within that period, that people will be able to have a conscious awakening within a short period of time?
Yes, 160 weeks is our target for Victory Week. And the practical, like the operative definition of Victory Week is that you cannot buy beer with fiat currency anymore. Which means, in practice, that the cabal and the fiat money system, that is one of the foremost controlling tools of the cabal, and has been for more than 100 years, is ended. So at that point, cool things will happen. Like free energy is released. All the technologies are released. Like the people's rights to their mind. It has like two main paths. One is meditating and the other one is substances. I accept and encourage them both. They are both real. Like all these things will happen, and it will just be faster and faster. But when it will happen, I predict 2 years, 160 weeks, and we are now on week 43.
I've seen throughout time that inventions and ideas can be developed parallel to one another in different places.
Mm-hmm.
This would highlight the cosmic consciousness that you're talking about. Do you believe that this world is looking for, and that other people are seeking such a solution, and that other versions of this system could also play out in parallel?
What is already, like how the world at the moment operates, that you can create your own reality and everybody knows it. You have your own bubble, you have your own scene, you have your own tribe or something. You can take the kind of substances that you want to be influenced with, so that your inner world and even your outer world is pretty much free if you just want to do it. What we are doing in the Kingdom Initiative is that we three things. We want to talk about this. So what we are doing is talking about it and making it available to all the people on the planet. Second is that we make the Kingly platform, that is the operating system for the new world, meaning that it's a handy tool when I, for instance, want to send you any amount of anything, so that it used to be in my control and now it is in yours. It takes me less than 15 seconds ever to do it, for the reason of the compactness and power in our spells language. so it's command like CLI. We call them spells for the reason of the power in them. I have to elaborate on this because I'm getting started. We recently conducted a great energy transfer because there had been one character ID, and that is number 11. So it's obviously a very powerful number. It has been bought by a speculator in the very early ages, and then one of the Grand Dukes wanted it. And the price for such a transaction, that one party gives Glee, the money, the other one gives the right to incorporate character ID number 11 so that you become the number 11 of the world. The price was 0.5% of the market cap, which was a fair price. He actually asked for 3 times more. 0.5% of the world was the size of the transaction of this number. And it took a grand total of 31 keystrokes by 2 people total to effect it in the global ledger. GLEE stands for Global Ledger Initiative. 31 keystrokes. So, okay, the negotiations leading to it, they took like the grand total of, I don't know, maybe 4 hours. But then the administering of it required 2 people to have their mobile phones ready, and one typed send 42M to 33. The other one give ID 11 101. So imagine the power when you can conduct a transaction of 0.5% of the market cap of the whole platform in 15 seconds. And it's not gonna get any more difficult ever. There is no reason for it. The system is making things difficult for their aims and purposes, but I am not, because my aim is to liberate people, not to control them.